tonight. I'm a couple 100 miles from Japan, and I was thinking I could fly to your hotel tonight, 'cause I can get you off my...
Hello and welcome to my first collaboration with Raihan. First off, I'd like to say a huge thank you to Raihan for the opportunity, and without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. Here are the 6 tips you need to guarantee yourself GCSE and A-level success in the upcoming summer exam. Tip number 1 is to develop that A-star mentality. How you approach your studying matters almost as much as what you do, so really focus on cultivating a mindset that makes you want to get up in the morning. For this reason, I strongly recommend using daily visual cues. For this, you can, for example, change the background on your iPhone or the background on your laptop. Step number 2 is to learn the same information in a variety of ways. So one of my friends who did her GCSEs in the last summer and achieved brilliant results actually used her voice recorder app on her iPhone and recorded all of her notes. This really helped because she was an auditory learner and she achieved amazing results. So really tailoring your studying regimen to the style of learner you are, for example, kinesthetic, visual, or auditory, will really help you along the way. You really want to be storing that information in your long-term memory from the start. Tips number 3 and 4 are both based on spaced memory repetition, as well as inquiry-based learning. So what these two fancy words are about is all about giving your brain enough time between one topic and the next within one subject to make those links and connections and really build those neuronal connections, for example, that will help store that information in your long-term memory. So for example, study different subjects in one day. So don't stick to just maths for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. You want to be studying maths and something different, for example, like geography, to give your brain that time to make connections and not, get things muddled up. The other tip that I was going to give is flashcards, and inquiry-based learning is all about when you're learning based on questions. So giving your brain really quick question and answer format notes is really going to help deepen those concepts and your understanding. So one tool that I really love using is Anki. So this is available on Google, and when you use it, there's a variety of options you can use to truly enhance your learning. Tip number 5 is to overlearn the material and really show your knowledge. What I mean by this is take a whiteboard and try and teach the topic that you've just learned, the equation that you've just come across in maths, to a friend. The one way that you can do this is by just grabbing a whiteboard and trying to draw out the concepts. What I've found is that when I try and draw out photosynthesis happening or beta oxidation of fatty acids, it really helps me to understand the concept deeper. And I don't even have to teach it to somebody else. I can just teach it to a wall. Tip number 6 is to adapt a high yield method of taking notes. What I mean by this is even if you are months away from your exams, use the specification to your advantage, use the past papers, and finally use the examiner reports. Especially for GCSE English and GCSE Geography and subjects like that, I found that the examiner report was actually often more helpful than my teachers. But that kind of makes sense because the examiner's report is the examiners telling you exactly what they're looking for and what boxes you need to tick. For me, this really helped because sometimes you had 6 markers and 8 markers in your geography past paper and you really didn't know how to structure your answers. Some miscellaneous tips that have helped me over the years through my GCSEs and my A-levels are taking regular breaks and using something called the Be Focused or Pomodoro technique. That's all about taking, for example, a 25-minute session to focus just on your work, solely your work, without any distractions, and then taking a 5-minute break afterwards. Just like in the gym, you use HIIT training, which is high intensity interval training. You need to do the same thing with your mind to develop a concentration span that lasts longer and which will help you in the future for years to come. Once again, a big thank you to Raihan for the opportunity, and I look forward to making videos in the future.